Well, welcome back to True News. We're going to visit some of the best propaganda from NATO over the past 20 years, just to refresh your memory, because I want you to see how the globalists, whatever you want to call these people, Illuminati, globalists, Bilderbergers, Masons, they're all the same. All right, it's all the same group. I want you to see how they use the same
tactics,
the same plays, the same strategies. It's just a repeat, because people forget what they did 10, 20 years ago. They forget what they did a year ago.
For instance, we saw these stories about Russian President Vladimir Putin, $200 billion fortune. Right. Well, if you watch the cycles before, they've done this before to other despots that they want to knock out. They accuse them of atrocities and then say, look how rich they are. They can't have all that money.
From stealing.
Yes.
The United States and Europe recognized a breakaway province and said, this is an independent state called Kosovo. And not only that, but they got rid of Yugoslavia. They erased Yugoslavia.
Yes.
So we get rid of it. We're not even going to recognize that Yugoslavia ever existed. We're going to create new nations here. So for NATO to be so extremely upset that Putin is recognizing the independence of two breakaway provinces in Ukraine is sheer hypocrisy.
Well, to quote Joe Biden, who in the Lord's name can recognize a new nation, just create new countries out of thin air?
NATO.
NATO can, because they've done it.
That's right. The U.S. troops are not in Syria to fight ISIS, because the United States created ISIS. The United States, Saudi Arabia, and Israel created ISIS, armed ISIS. It's a ragtag army financed by Western powers. They invaded Syria to bring down the Syrian government. It was to destabilize and defeat the Syrian government to get Bashar Assad out of power so that the Zionists could take over Syria. So the United States is there for one reason, because Putin sent Russian troops to Syria to protect the Syrian Christians. The United States of America and Israel were killing Syrian Christians.
Yes.
Blowing up Christian churches in Syria. And it got so bad that Putin sent Russian soldiers and jet planes to Syria to stop the United States of America from killing the Christians.
At the invitation of?
At the invitation of the Syrian government.
Right.
And so they're furious with Putin. He blocked them in Syria. He blocked them because the Western powers were carrying out a massacre of Syrian Christians. Why? Because Zionism wants Christianity eradicated from the Middle East. Let's be honest and real about this, folks. Zionism controls the United States of America. Zionism controls the Pentagon, the armed forces of the United States. Zionism is using the American military power to kill Christians. Who did they kill in Yugoslavia, in Serbia? They killed the Christians. This is really easy to figure out what's going on. It's a war against Christ's church. And God has raised up Vladimir Putin to oppose this Antichrist spirit. That doesn't mean Putin's a perfect man. That doesn't mean it. It says God is using him right now to stop these Antichrist killers who are waging war for decades against Christian populations. Please don't support this NATO war.
No.
Don't support it. You're on the wrong side, because I'm telling you, you're on the side of Satan when you do this. They use numerology today. It's so obvious what's going on here. If you're my age or somewhat in this time frame, you'll now remember, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about bombing Yugoslavia. Oh, I forgot about bombing Libya.
But they do the same thing over and over and over again.
Yes. But if you're younger, I want you to see it's the same tactics, the same lies, the same propaganda. Don't fall for it.